That sound like it sound like you just put all the recipes in there for the perfect mac and cheese. That's what it sound like.
Hey, man, mac and cheese. Hey, listen, when the mac and cheese is good.
When the mac and cheese, when it's dark right on the top a little, and you get when you can get the pleasure of getting the corner of the pan.
Yeah. I'm talking about when you scoop it anywhere and you still got them strings, you got to pull it.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm that person too, but I'm trying to eat it fresh out the pan. Mouth burning on fire. I'm Ricky Willis. You might have seen me on TV, and now I'm taking on the podcast world. Join me as we dive into stories of ordinary people doing extraordinary things. I believe everyone has a story we can learn from. Let's talk about yours. This is the Clever Conversations podcast. What's going on, baby? It's your man, Clever. You already know Clever Conversations. So today, I have the pleasure of sitting here with somebody you might have seen in Orlando. You might have seen them in New Orleans. You might have seen them in Atlanta. You might have seen them in Charlotte. You might have seen them in Charleston. But more importantly, you hear his voice here, Savannah. We talking about CJ. That's my DJ.
Yeah, man. Hey.
What's good, baby?
What's up, brother? Glad to be here. You know what I'm saying? Glad, long time coming.
Long
Glad to
time
have
coming, baby.
A clever conversation.
Clever conversation.
Yo.
So, man, listen, I appreciate you taking your time out your busy schedule to come here and goof off with us a little bit. We thank you. We appreciate that.
Yeah, man.
So, man, listen. So, I know you.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody don't have that luxury of knowing you like I know you.
Yeah.
So, if you could tell the people a little bit about who CJ, the DJ, is.
Man, above all, I'm a vessel, man. That's what I tell folks.
Come
man.
now,
I'm a vessel. A vessel that's blessed to do a lot, you know what I'm saying, in a lot of places. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm a DJ, a son of the city of Savannah. And I mean, that's just the best way to sum up who I am.
I don't know if you could have summed it up any better.
Yeah, that's the best way to sum up who I am.
That sound like it sound like you just put all the recipes in there for the perfect mac and cheese. That's what it sound like.
Hey, man, mac and cheese. Hey, listen, when the mac and cheese is good.
When the mac and cheese, when it's dark right on the top a little, and you get when you can get the pleasure of getting the corner of the pan.
Yeah. I'm talking about when you scoop it anywhere and you still got them strings, you got to pull it.
Cheese.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm that person too, but I'm trying to eat it fresh out the pan. Mouth burning on fire. So listen, man. So let's talk a little bit about let's talk first a little bit about your upbringing. Mm-hmm. Tell the people a little bit about where you were from, where you went to school, just that kind of like give us more insight into you.
Okay. So like I said, I'm a son of the city. I'm from Savannah, born and raised. I grew up in Sylvan Terrace. Elementary, middle, and high school. I done been to schools on every end of the city, man. I went to Pulaski, White Bluff, Hess. I went to Durin. I went to Coastal. I went to Johnson. I graduated from Beach.
Bulldogs for life,
yes,
baby.
Yes, sir. Shout out to the class of 06.
And the class of 88, too.
Hey, shout out to 88 was a good year. 88 was a good year. You know what I'm saying? That's the year I touched down. So, yeah, shout out to the class of 88. You know what I'm saying? And then also, you know what I'm saying, I'm an alumni of the Savannah State University. You know what I'm saying? The state of Georgia's first public HBCU.
Come on. Could you say that again so people, because people might not know that.
I don't think a lot of folks do know that.
Could you say that, let the people know what?
Savannah State University, the state of Georgia's first public HBCU.
First public
Founded
HBCU.
1890, yeah.
You heard it.
I'm an alum.
You heard it.
Yeah.
Man.
I'm an alum. So, yeah, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, I'm born and raised, man, like, you know, in everything that I do, I've always, you know, done my best to represent Savannah. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of times people always think of Savannah in like a box. And I don't. I've never seen Savannah as that. I've always seen Savannah as like the city that can grow and is growing and is, you know what I'm saying, just on this constant upward trajectory. And I'm just blessed to be able to do my part.
Man, listen, and we're blessed to have you because it's nothing like when you turn the radio on and you hear CJ, that's my DJ. So how did that come about?
That came about, I was working on a mixtape a while back, and the mixtape was called Sex Tape. It was like all slow R&B music mixed and blended into each other, and I needed a tag on it that identified me, but I didn't want like a traditional DJ tag where some dude be like, yeah, CJ, rah, rah. You know what I'm saying? I ain't want that. So I called a friend of mine. I was actually recording the tape on Savannah State campus at the time. And I called a friend of mine. I was like, hey, I need you to say this tag. And she said it. and it fit perfect and it was good. And what kind of makes me laugh is like a lot of people say that tag in like a sexual way, but like it wasn't recorded in a sexual way. Like if you really listen to it, it's not. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It just kind of always stuck.
I never look at it in a sexual way. I just be looking at it. When I hear it, I just be like, that's my man.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that's how I feel. Like, man, you know, hey, if I'm your DJ, I'm your DJ. You know what I'm saying?
And you're definitely my DJ. I had many events, and the first person I call is you.
Yeah. And we have a good time, too.
And we have fun, man. Yeah. Come on. But have we ever been together and not have fun?
Nah.
And we ain't planning to start that no time soon.
Yeah, I like DJing with you, man, because I don't even got to play the songs. I can just throw on instrumentals and let you just... And this man will rap for a whole hour and won't repeat the same bar. It's crazy to see.
I got more bars than the prison. So let's talk about family.
Okay. So
you're a father, husband, son. Your parents, how many, you have any siblings?
Yep. On my mom's side, I got a sister, but I also got 2 first cousins. We all grew up in one house together. It was like me, my mom, my sister, my aunt, my uncle, my 2 cousins, my grandma. So I really equate them as more as like siblings than I do.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? First cousins. And then on my pop side, it's a whole heap on. You know
a whole heap. It's a whole heap on. That's when you know it's a lot, when you say it's a whole heap on.
It's a whole heap on.
All right, so where do you land inside the scale? Are you the baby? Are you the oldest?
No, I'm the firstborn. I'm the firstborn. On my mom's side, you know what I'm saying? I'm the firstborn. So shout out to all the firstborns out here. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to us.
The extra parent, if you will.
We out here.
Yeah.
Tell them.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? The extra parent. So, but I'm blessed, man. I enjoy it very much, like my experience as a firstborn. I know some people have like gripes about it. Not me. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my wife. She a firstborn.
Okay.
So, you know.
Shout out, Queen.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to my wife. Me and her, actually, we met because I am very much like a workaholic. And we actually met 6 years ago working together at iHeart. And it's funny because when we first met, she ain't like me. You know what I'm saying? When we first met, it was her first day, and her boss was like, yeah, you know, the CJ, he on the radio, he do mixes. And I was like, yeah, so way back Wednesday, you know what I'm saying? So I'm playing throwbacks. You should give me a song to throw in the mix. And so she was like, you should play Juvenile, Back That Thing Up. And I was like, man, everybody request that. But I was just being funny.
Right.
She didn't get that. She didn't think that. She did not think I was being funny.
You should have said something different.
I should have.
Well, maybe not, because if that's your wife, then everything panned out.
Hey, so in that moment, she was like, yeah, this guy's a jerk. I'm not a fan. And went on about her way. And that was July. We ain't talk again till November. So November, she had a client who had this big, the Food and Wine Festival, actually. And so they had me DJing the Food and Wine Festival. And like crazy backstory, my laptop charger at this event decided to die. I had to improvise. So I just took like an aux cord, plugged it up into like my tablet, and I'm talking in between each song. And I pulled up Juvenile, Back That Thing Up, and I looked at it and I pointed and I played it. And fast forward 6 years later, here we are married with a baby.
Here we go.
You know what I'm saying? So shout out to Juvenile for making the greatest love song of a generation.
Girl, you look good once you back that thing up.
Come on.
Listen, we appreciate you, Juvenile, for that.
We appreciate you, Juvie. But, man, I'm very much a family man. You know what I'm saying? My wife, I got 3 sons. You know what I'm saying? My oldest is 11. My middle son, he's 9. My baby boy, 8 months. So, you know what I'm saying? I got all, yeah. Shout out to young Pablo.
Pablo, what's up, baby?
Pablo, man. So, young Pablo is out here living the greatest life as an 8-month-old. I was just talking to one of my good friends because for Christmas, we going to both California and Maui. And he's like, his grandfather's from Hawaii, and he wanted to give him like a traditional Hawaiian head dip. I was like, man, I ain't go half the places he been till I was grown. So the fact that he able to get
I'm 55 and I never been to Hawaii.
Hey, shout out to Pablo, man. The life of Pablo.
Live the life for us, Pablo. Let's just do it.
Yeah. I know I'm older, but I want to live through Pablo.
Come on, man. Come on. So let's talk a little bit about the journey that got you into DJing. First, how long have you been DJing?
As of right now, 2024, I've been DJing 16 years. April of next year makes 17 years that I've been DJing.
08.
Yeah, 08 is when I started. At April 20th, 2008 was my first event ever DJing. It was at Club Ice, right up the street on Abercorn. It was like a private party for somebody. It didn't even do that good. And then after that, man, I DJed in South Carolina for like a whole year before I ever played anywhere else in Savannah. A lot of places at the time, at that time, both radio stations was thriving. Both radio stations had like monster lineups, you know what I'm saying? So everybody already had their DJs that they
was
were
already
rocking
locked
with.
in.
Right. They didn't care about no new up-and-coming DJs. So me and the DJs that I came up with, EJ Franchise, DJ Ignat, man, we were going to like South Carolina like 4 or 5 nights out the week. I'm talking all over Yemassee, Studio 7 in Beaufort, Wonder Woman in Yemassee, Club Life in Hilton Head. And I mean, in retrospect, it worked out because it polished us as DJs so well that by the time we finally got our foot in the door in Savannah, it was like, hold up, where they been?
And you already had a following at that point.
Well, our following at that point was all South Carolina. Like I said, for a whole year, I mean, everywhere we tried to get our foot in the door in Savannah, like nobody was really trying to give us a chance. We was young. We wasn't no big name. Ain't nobody knew of us, you know what I'm saying? And how we even really kind of got going in Savannah, L.A. Johnson, shout out to L.A., he was DJing the spot, if you know, Daiquiri Island.
You know,
If you know, Daiquiri Island. And so one day he double booked himself and he was like, hey, I need you to fill in for me on Daiquiri. And I was like, cool. And I said in my mind, I was like, L.A. my dog, but like, they let me in here. I'm finna take this. It's mine now. Yeah. Shout out to LA. That's my dog.
For the first opportunity,
shout out to LA, man. Shout out to LA. I was just like, yeah, I'm finna go in. I'm finna take this. And you know what I'm saying? And it went from that Saturday to like every Saturday. Then eventually it became Fridays and Saturdays. And from there, it's kind of where I like really started to get my foot in the door. But I think, one thing that played a big role in like my foundation as a DJ and just in my career in general was just the fact that like so many people said no out the gate. And it's because of that, really and truly, that I'm very grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? I think if a lot of people had told me yes, coming up, my journey and even my mindset about things would like be very different. I'm very much like, all right, cool. If my mindset on doing it, I'm going to do it. Not just to prove to other people that I can't do it, but to prove to myself that I can do it.
So those no's gave you power in a sense.
Yeah. I mean, those no's, I felt like those no's were much needed. You know what I'm saying? I mean, even down the radio, like there was a point where I went to both E93 and 94 and I was like, man, I will come in here and dump trash. I just want to be a fly on the wall and like soak up. I got to get my
foot in the door.
I just want to soak up whatever game I could soak up. And you know what I'm saying? And like at the time, one station was just like, nah. Another station, they kind of flexed on me and held their nuts on me at the time. And it was cool, but it was because of that I was just like, all right, so be it. I'm going to just make it so that they can't escape me. So it was like, every club, I'm in there at this point. I'm doing mixtapes and people jamming my mixtapes just as hard as the radio. I'm like out of town, I'm in town. Like I'm really, you know what I'm saying? It was that no that kind of like made me even more, like I was already hungry. That no made me like famished. You know what I'm saying? And so like it eventually got to the point that people was like tweeting the radio station like, why at CJ the DJing on the radio? And like, man, I tell people all the time, like my testimony is me and the two DJs I came in the game with, we both were staying in a house. Shout out to Walls Drive. If you remember Walls Drive, if you went to Savannah State, you ever came to a Walls Drive house party or a Dream 10 house party, you know. But nevertheless, it came a time where a new wave of DJs was coming out and like they were like doing stuff for like $50 and drink tabs, and it was like, man, financially we couldn't keep up with that. And so both my homeboys ended up going into the military. One went into the Navy, the other went into the Army. Needless to say, we had to move out of our house. I had to move back in with my mom's. And I remember like the last week of staying in the house, man, I'm walking around our neighborhood like 4 a.m. and I'm just praying. I'm just talking to God. And I'm like, man, I felt like I had to choose between guidance and confirmation, right? And I was like, I don't want confirmation. I don't want no star to shoot across the sky to let me know everything gonna be all right. I don't want no bird to fall out no bush. I just want guidance. If everything I really see and think for myself, if that's what it is, then let every day from this moment forward move me closer to that. And if not, let every day from this moment forward move me further away so I can switch up my footwork and figure out what it is I'm supposed to be doing in life. A few weeks went by, couldn't tell the difference. So I was like, man, I'm about to go ahead and join the Navy too. Talked to a recruiter. She was like, yeah, because I was in ROTC at Johnson, I was going to go into E3, which was like the highest I could go. I was like, all right,
you was already in.
I was good. Yeah, I was good. So I was finna go. I was supposed to go to Jacksonville on a Friday, to get sworn in. And that Wednesday, 2 days before, Gil Jones, who was the promotions director at E93 at the time, called me and he was like, the radio station is doing an event at Savannah State and they said that you are the only DJ we could use. Are you available? And I never looked back.
You are the only one.
That's what
the school said.
The school
this
said
what
that.
we want.
To this day, I don't know who they had that conversation with. I don't know how that conversation unfolded. All I know is 48 hours before I was supposed to go join the Navy, I got a call and he was like, we doing Yard Fest at Savannah State. The school told us you are the only DJ that we could use. Are you available? And I was like, yeah. And from that moment, like I never looked back. So
that was your confirmation.
That was confirmation. But I mean, honestly, like I said, I wasn't even looking for confirmation. I was looking for guidance.
That,
no,
yeah.
I mean, in a sense, it was confirmation. Yeah, there
was
confirmation. In that moment, it was confirmation because I mean, it was both because I kind of, from that moment forward, like he didn't call me to offer me a job in that moment with the radio station.
Right.
He just said, we got an event that we needed.
Opportunity.
Yeah, but much like Daiquiri Island, I was like,
let me in.
Once you let me in.
Just open the door for me.
I'm in there.
If you can open the door,
you ain't got to unlock it. You can just unlock
the conversation.
You could just unlock it.
Yeah, just make sure the door, make sure I don't have to kick it in. But I mean, if I have to kick it in, that's the thing too.
I'll kick it in. I mean, but that goes back to like, you know, the benefit of those no's. You know what I'm saying? Like people saying no early on led to a mentality of, you know what I'm saying, let me get my foot in the door to I'll kick a door down to I just make my own door. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think
that's heavy.
I mean, that's the benefit. I think whenever I think about like, you know, the foundation of my journey as a DJ, I really do cherish in retrospect a lot of those no's because, like I said, it shaped it. The way I approach things is because of those no's. You know what I'm saying? I don't necessarily want nobody permission I don't need nobody permission to be great. Or I don't need nobody permission to like chase a dream. I don't need, as long as I got my family blessing, I'm good. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So yeah.
That's strong. I remember a couple of years back, I wrote a post on Facebook and the post said, if they won't give you a seat at the table, make your own table.
Mm-hmm.
Then the post that I wrote said, hammer, check.
Mm-hmm.
Nails, check. Wood, check. Tape measure, check. Knowledge of building a table, check. I'm gonna be all right.
Yeah.
I got the makings to make my own table.
Right.
So I'm not asking for a seat at the table. I'm creating my own table.
Right.
And being able to bring other people in. With that being said, did you have any mentors in for as DJ or the music industry or your career? Did you have any mentors that kind of helped guide you to be who we know today as CJ the DJ?
I would say I didn't have like direct mentors, but I did have people who played like influential roles and who might not directly been a mentor, but may have like helped me in a way that led to me, you know what I'm saying, getting there. Like, I won't shortchange anybody. Like, you know, early on in my career, I got to throw a shout out to my guy, Melly Mel, Premier Entertainment. If you know, like Melly Mel, when, you know, I had that whole point in time where nobody was really rocking with me coming up. You know what I'm saying? Melly Mel didn't really see it, think it robbery to rock with me. You know what I'm saying? I got to throw a shout out to my brother Chevy Said, who I just saw earlier today. There was a period where when I left E93, you know, I didn't know that I would end up at 94 at the time. I just knew that's a whole nother story, but I just knew like, man, you know, I'm a firm believer in like messing up my comfort zone sometimes. And that was just one of those times. But you know, it was only a 6-month period between me leaving one and ultimately getting on the other. And like I said, I didn't know that I would be on the other. But during that 6 months, like, man, people who would call me all the time wouldn't answer the phone for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, everybody switched up. Like, it's no longer because I wasn't on the radio. Yeah. A lot of people just started acting different. But, you know what I'm saying? In that time, like, man, shout out to Said, like, you know, that's always been, I'll put it like this, nobody in this game has taken more L's with me than Said. And by proximity, nobody in this game has taken more W's with me than Said. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Said, baby. Shout out to Said.
So Said. And then in radio, And I gotta give flowers to the big dog, Kenya Kabine. You know what I'm saying? Kenya Kabine was one of the
That's the
yeah,
homie,
man. That's
man.
the big
That's the
homie,
big
man.
homie,
Kenya
man.
Kabine was one of the first to like really show me like the board and kind of like share like radio insight with me. And then you know what I'm saying? There are other like radio legends who've opened the doors. I also gotta give flowers to man, the incomparable Sam Nelson, man. I always equate Sam as like the Phil Jackson of radio. Like a little backstory of Sam. Like Sam is like the guy who like built E93 up into what it was.
Wow.
Like back in the day when he like built the powerhouse with like Lil G, Kenya, April Dobbs, Jay Chris, Dice before Dice went to the beat. That was all Sam. And I got the opportunity to work with Sam because he was the one who hired me at 94. And so like learning like just and seeing like how he, you know, his philosophy and his approach to radio, I felt like I really grew as a force from like the radio aspect. Just being in proximity to him, man. Like it's people, like I said, who've definitely like impacted my journey. And I hope like nobody gets mad and I ain't calling no names because it is a lot of people. I feel like, you know, every interaction that you have is meant to shape you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Not just the good. Like they're
some of the bad made
some of the bad. Yeah,
those no's made you go right through that door for them justice.
Right. So I don't want to like go down like get to calling too many names, but just like, you know what I'm saying? I did want to definitely shout those people out off the top of their head.
Yo, man. So let's talk a little bit about what made you want to become a DJ. So was it like you used to watch people break dance, you used to rap, you used to hear stuff, and what made you want to get into the DJ DJ era, the DJ zone, if you will?
I always knew I wanted a career in music. Like I know that since like just early elementary school. Like my grandma once upon a time had like the picture where, you know, kids are like, when I grow up I want to be a doctor or a fireman or whatever. I just put a music man that had like a stick man with music notes around him. So I always knew I wanted a career in music. With DJing, I didn't really come into the game at first being like I wanted to be a DJ. My freshman year at Savannah State, I had a homeboy who I went to Johnson with. Shout out to DJ Mel. And DJ Mel was a part of a promotions team. And he was like, you going to Savannah State, and you a freshman. We trying to connect with the freshmen on campus. I'm going to, you know, get you to help us promote the party. So I was like, cool. So I initially started off as a promoter.
Okay.
But I'm always kind of like, even now, I'm always like, all right, what's next? What's next? So I went from promoting to hosting, from hosting to DJing. And the very first time I DJ'd, and I got paid from it, I was like, hold up. You can make... I remember, bro, my first gig was April 20th, 2008. It was at Club Ice. I was supposed to get paid $250. It was two promoters on it. One of the promoters paid me they half. The other promoter, because the party flopped, they got ghosts. I ain't never seen them, so I only got $125
Even
off
to this day?
I've seen them since, but I mean...
Did they pay you is what I'm saying.
Nah, they went on about their way.
Whoever you are, we appreciate you doing what you did, because doing what you did gave us CJ the DJ.
Hey, man,
it gave us who he is today. So thank you.
Hey, listen,
keep that
bro.
150.
At the time in 2008, bro, having 125 was good for me. I wasn't even I was blowed by not having another 125.
Sure.
But I was like, hold up. So I could get like over $100 just for doing this?
For having fun. For
Right.
doing something you enjoy.
Right. So I was like, cool, I'm going to lock in. And that's
And
what
you
I
just went
did.
crazy.
Yeah, I just locked in. And that's what it was.
So let's talk a little bit about one of the craziest things that happened as far back as you can remember. So you DJ and then something goes wrong. Whatever it was goes wrong. And now you just like, man, what was that if you remember?
I can't really say I've ever, like, I can't say I've ever
go out.
Yeah, I mean, things like that happen, but things like that, I ain't gonna say they happen all the time, but like when things like that happen, like I don't really think about it like freaking out. Like I'm more so like, let me land this plane and then I'll stress about all that after the fact. Kind of like when I was telling the story about like DJing the event for my wife. Like, my laptop charger died, so I don't know how I'm supposed to. This a big client.
Quick on the pivot.
Right. Let me figure it out. Oh, I got a tablet. I got a little Wi-Fi on this tablet, and I got an aux cord. I'm going to make it work.
We about to make this happen.
We're going to make it work. So, I don't know. And then, honestly, by the time I finally land the plane, I'm so glad I landed the plane that I ain't even really tripping about what went wrong. Yeah. I'm just better equipped for the next time. But I don't know. I could say I've seen, like, a lot of crazy things. Like, I remember DJing, like, way back. It was like a 4th of July, and I was at Studio 7 in Beaufort. And man, whatever happened, there was some guys who got into it. Like, I don't know, like one guy robbed the guy before the club, and then him and his people got on him, and then whatever. But like, somehow they came in the club, and like this night, cause it's 4th of July, I mean the club is like packed, like shoulder to shoulder. Like, thank God I'm in. I love being in the DJ booth because I ain't got to deal with.
That.
I don't got to deal with that. But like, but I mean, this night in particular, like people couldn't even dance because it was just that packed, and somehow, some way, somebody got in there with a gun, and like when they let the shots off, seeing it was like the building exploded, bro. With just people. Like, the door, I'll never forget. The door was in the frame. The door was closed, and it was like chunks of wall around the door. Like, they knocked the whole door still attached to the wall down and ran out the building on one end of the building. And that just always was crazy to me. I was like, Brian, it was something like out of a cartoon. I ain't never seen that. But as far as like experiences that like I said, like I've had, it's just been like, oh God, like I don't know, man. Like I said, whenever things go wrong, I just think that's just kind of like my mindset with life. Like, we don't really got control over stuff. You just kind of got to go with it. So I'm just kind of like, especially when I'm DJing, right? I'm just like, you know, half the time the crowd ain't gonna know what's going on unless I make it a big thing. So let me just figure it out.
So what would be one of the times where you were DJing and then all of a sudden you got a super celebrity jamming in your presence, and they like either shouting you out or pointing at you or like, yo, he killing it. What about one of those times?
Man, those
I'm sure it's been multiple.
Yeah.
But which one was your favorite or most exciting or most memorable?
My most memorable, I don't know. Cause
when I was at the party?
Man, cause hey, listen, when you at the party, man, I'm switching the beat up for you to go ahead and be clever one time. I'm over there pointing at you like, yeah, don't stop, keep going. Let me mix another track in. I don't know. I'd say like earlier this year, I had the opportunity to DJ like numerous stops for the ladies R&B tour, and they had, man, like the lineups on those shows were so crazy. I mean, you had like Genuine, Drew Hill, Case, H-Town, Shy, Lloyd, Pleasure P, Bobby V, Sam, like Keith Sweat, like the lineups was crazy. And being able to be the DJ that's kind of like interacting and keeping the crowd going in between each act. Because like anybody who's ever seen me DJ, they know like I talk a lot, I interact with the crowd, I ain't just playing
DJ.
a song. Right, yeah, I'm a showman, if you will, you know what I'm saying? So like, you know, being able to see like a lot of groups like be like, yeah, he rocking, or you know what I'm saying, or like before they even go on stage, it's almost like they forgot they about to perform. You know what I'm saying? Like that was cool. Earlier this year, we did the soul sessions at District Live, and each one of those have been dope. We had John B host one, and and the crowd got so lit. He was like, yeah, I got to sing a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Q Parker from 112, we had him, and it was the same thing. And then he just came up and was like, hey, just play some songs and we just gonna vibe with the crowd. And I was like, let's do it. Yeah, let's do it. So I don't know, man. Everything, it's hard for me to like name favorite moments because every experience is like dope in its own way.
Yeah.
For at least for me, like that's my perspective.
Well, if you ever need, I don't know if it's, I know Tupac used to carry albums for Diggable Planet. I know Puff used to carry albums for Bobby Brown before Bobby Brown started working for Puff. So if you need an album guy, I'll definitely, just please send me the application. I'll definitely carry
Hey man, we got everything on the hard drive and the laptop, but I'm gonna give you the microphone case.
Man, okay,
I'm gonna give you the microphone case.
Okay.
Yeah.
So during college,
mm-hmm.
did you Did you join a fraternity?
Come on, man. So,
I saw, but I had to.
Yeah. Shout out to the good brothers of the Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. The first,
do it again. Do it. I'm not supposed to do it, right?
The first black fraternity founded on a historically black college or university.
One more time for the people in the back.
The first black fraternity founded on an HBCU campus. November 17th, 1911. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no knock to none of the other firsts. There ain't no knock to the Alphas or the Kappas. I know they was before, but we was the first on the HBCU campus.
Come through. Now, I was told, I don't know how true it is. First, let me tell you about my college experience. I've been to college twice.
Me too.
First time to pick up my cousin. Second time I went to the concert. So I don't know. I don't know how true it is. But I was told, like when you just did the do your hand thing like you did, I was told that I'm not supposed to do that. Correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so I was getting ready to do it as a sign of respect, but it's a sign of disrespect if I do it. So I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it through you. This is me doing through CJ.
There you go.
That's
right there.
And if I didn't get stumped on the yard, I probably would have did it.
Nah. I mean, I just folks like look at it like, a thing of like,
it's respect, really.
Yeah, it's a respect thing. It's kind of like you doing it like we know why we do it. But if you didn't know why you were doing it,
I just thought it was cool.
Yeah.
So did you step?
Yeah,
you did the step stuff?
The cues we hop. Yeah.
Okay, so what's to the regular
to the regular folks? So stepping is all like cues like we hop. We put some work in.
Y'all do. Okay.
Yeah. We hop. We get out there.
Let's talk a little bit about joining. Let's talk a little bit about how was that process? Were you like, man, you know what? I'm not going to do this. These jokers got me doing. Or were you like, you know what? At the end of the day, I'm going to do this today because tomorrow I'm not doing it.
I mean, for me, my journey was a little different. I mean, as is everybody's. Like, for me, so I was joining in Savannah State during my time there. And at the time, Savannah State changed the GPA requirements from like a 2.5 to a 2.75. And so I had like a 2.69. So at the time I couldn't finish. Okay. But the brothers there, they rocked with me and they got me connected with some very good brothers in the grad chapter in Hinesville, Fort Stewart. Shout out to the BGGQs, the mechanized bros. So yeah, I was able to still go through it and still, join the fraternity. I just ultimately ended up doing it and finishing with a grad chapter.
So I was told that, excuse me, I was told that once you join the fraternity, it's like a lifetime brotherhood. And like for the rest of our lives, we are just connected by this. Is this true?
Yeah. But I mean, to be completely transparent and authentic and real, I mean, it's like, it's with any group of people, bro. Like, some people you gonna connect with and that's gonna be your dog. And some people, maybe not. Maybe y'all might not get along as well, you know what I'm saying? But, for fraternities, you know what I'm saying? And in my case and in my experience, like, yeah, I met, brothers in this fraternity who I consider like not just brothers, but like lifelong friends. And I'm talking about like not fake friends. I'm talking about real friends. I'm talking life might be happening for them. Life might be happening for me. We might not talk for almost a year straight.
Never miss a beat.
But when we catch up, it's like we are right. It's like we ain't never miss a beat. And I mean, like, I could not talk to them for like a year or some change, and they could call me right now. And I mean, I could, as soon as we done with this interview, answer the phone, hit them back. And if they need something, I would show up for them because I know without a doubt, without questioning it, that if the shoe is on the other foot, if I genuinely needed something from them, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, that is true. And also, just in the journey, man, you meet so many people in all types of industries, from all types of walks of life, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, the beautiful thing with a fraternity, especially like Omega's, like, man, it's international. I could go anywhere in the world. And meet a brother. I could go right now, you know what I'm saying? I could go to Okinawa, Japan, and not know nothing from nothing, nobody from nobody, nowhere from nowhere. And I could just, hey, it's any bros out here? And I could connect and we could get to know each other. And I got me a...
Now you got you a Japan connect.
Right. Lifelong. And because we're in the same fraternity, you know what I'm saying? Not to say that me and this man who we've never met are exactly the same, but there are just certain principles through the fraternity that connect us. There's just certain principles and morals and things that connect us. So, you know what I'm saying?
So I met a Marine here in Savannah. And so he happened to go to one of our alum events.
Mm-hmm.
And he said to me that outside of the Marine, Beach High School alum has the same kind of connection and brotherhood. He said he's never seen it anywhere else other than like the military and Beach High School.
No.
Like he said he saw the connection and the brotherhood, the sisterhood. He saw the same kind of connection as did the military. And I was like, yo, I'm proud. I'm a proud 88 dog. Like,
yeah.
Like that made me feel good because that shows that we are connected, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I mean, I think that's important, man. I think a lot of times, you know, we get so caught up on like connections with internet and social media that we miss out on like there are other ways for us to connect and interact and stuff. You know what I'm saying? So
let's talk a little bit about you was mentioning your mixtapes earlier.
Mm-hmm.
So you have any albums or any projects that you've already worked on in the past?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout out to my album 9, Part 1. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Zane. You know what I'm saying? Zane off in the cut. You know what I'm saying? Zane and Ashton, man, they did 2 amazing tracks. They did How Great.
That's the church.
Yeah, that's the one featuring Clay Hodges, Ethan Jeremiah.
So we're in the garage this past weekend,
mm-hmm.
and we're playing Uno and a bunch of cards, having fun and whatever. And she puts the track on.
Yeah.
And it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, who would think that you would think to do that kind of...
I knew I wanted that record on the album. Like I knew when I was putting that album together, like I knew it was like I knew I was gonna do 9 songs. I knew that it was gonna be part 1 of part 2. Then I'm gonna do part 2. You know, part 2 will be like later on down the line because part 1 in a lot of ways is still getting its flowers. All 9 tracks are very different from each other. No 2 tracks sound alike. But that track in particular, I knew for a fact, without a shadow of a doubt, when I was making it, that I wanted to do that track, and I heard it in my head. Like I hadn't made the beat, so it's 9 songs on the album. 7 of the songs, like I produced, I made the beats. The other 2, How Great and Tina Turner, that was Ashton and Zane. And with How Great, I was in the studio one night with Ashton, and shout out to Jameson Calamari, and Ashton. We was working on some stuff, and Ashton was like, "Hey, y'all mind if we take a quick break? I need to send somebody a beat pack real quick." I was like, "Cool, do your thing." So he was combing through beats, and when that beat came up, it just clicked, it just hit, and I was like, "Hey, what you about to do with that beat? You about to send that to somebody?" And he was like, yeah. I was like, "They already like specifically got that beat?"
They already got it?
He was like, "Nah." He was like, "I was just about to put it in the beat pack." I was like, "Don't put that one in the beat pack. Let me go in and get that one. Yeah, let me go in and get that one right now." You know what I'm saying? So, because I had already heard it.
So was that your first project? Second project?
That was my first. That was my first album. You know what I'm saying?
What was the name of it?
9.
9.
Yeah, 9. Like the number 9 has like very, very like big significance for a variety of reasons in my life,
bro.
Yeah,
life. KRS-One, he'll tell you about 9.
Yeah.
And I can see the reference when you name it 9.
Yeah, I mean it's a variety of reasons. Like I said, that was 9 Part 1. Eventually, I'll drop 9 Part 2. Henceforth, you got 9, 1, 2.
Can I get a?
Oh, I gotta have.
Can I get a feature?
Come on, that Part 2. That's why I'm like, man, if I took my time with Part 1, I'm really gonna take my time with Part 2 because I just feel like there's so many, and to hit on this because this often comes up. There's a lot of people who talk about like the artists that were featured on that album, and it's like it wasn't to exclude anybody, but it's like I know
everybody on.
I know that I'm gonna have a whole Part 2, and you know what I'm saying. But if you just go back and listen to Part 1, it's like there is no bad verse on that project.
I listened to it many times. Many times I've listened.
Yeah.
And when I listened, I was like, CJ.
Yeah, man. Like,
So what was the thought process behind coming up with the album?
So originally, like, so before, if we back up, go all the way back to like before 2008, if we go like 2005, 2006, once again, I always knew I wanted a career in music. Originally, I wanted to be a producer. That's what it originally dates back to. And like, you go back like 2005, 2006, I got like a trial version of Fruit Loops, and I was just like, not right now. I don't know what I'm doing.
For people that don't know what Fruit Loops is a recording
program.
Yeah,
you can make beats.
And a lot of artists use Fruit Loops as Fruit Loops Reasons, and there's a bunch of them. But Fruit Loops is a recording program that a lot of producers and artists use
to make beats. Yeah, and at the time, like, I was figuring it out, but I wasn't. It just felt like, yeah, not right now. But anywho, fast forward, going back, just also to the number 9 in general, man. Like, one of the things that I like about the number 9 is what it represents. Like, 9 represents both the end of a point and the start of another point. Like, if you count in and you get the 9 is the last of the single digits, but then you go to 10, you get to 19, it's the last of the teens, and then you go to the 20s. And so at the time that I started working on the album, that's kind of where I felt like I was personally just like in my career. Like, I've always been like, what's next? You know what I'm saying? How can I push myself more? And I felt like as a DJ, I've done everything I could say I wanted to do as a DJ. I've done tours, I've done clubs, I've done radio, I've done mixtapes, I've done every type of party. I've been blessed, to make a full-time living.
Did you parties?
Nope, never. Nope.
I'm just clowning, man.
Hey, man, I'm too young, fam. I'm too young, fam.
I'm just clowning.
No.
Just clowning.
Not Cynthia's son. Nope.
I'm just clowning.
Everything but the Diddy party. But like I said, everything I wanted to do, I've done. But you know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like, what's next? And so I kind of got into producing. I was at the time also working on a soundtrack for a film. Shout out to my partner Sid, Sunday in Savannah. And I just I had some other opportunities come up at the time, like some record reps that I knew through radio was like, Chris Brown working on the project. If you send some beats, you could get on that, or this artist. So I was like, cool. But I was like, before I really start mashing the gas on myself as a producer, I want my first body of work to be a love letter to Savannah. And that was another reason. That's huge, bro. That's another reason why I came up with 9. Right. And that's why, like I said, there'll be a part 2. And it's kind of like, everything about part 1 as part 2 when we get to it, it's all Savannah. Every artist on the project is from Savannah. Every beat is made by, myself. Shout out Zane. So it's all producer. Shout out to Zane. That's my producer. All producer credits. All Savannah producers. Shout out to Ashton. Ashton that made Savannah his home. What I'm saying? And also, like I said, 9 songs, but they all sound different. And I did it that way too, because like I said, I think a lot of times people put Savannah in a box, especially musically. Yeah. And it's like, man, we home to like the jazz festival. Blues. We a gospel mecca, blues. You know what I'm saying? There's so many dope R&B acts here. And so like, I wanted to, in that project, highlight all of those different facets of Savannah and show like musically, like, we not in the box. That's why, you got like a record like Down by the River, and that sounds totally different from a record like Peace. That's why you got a record like How Great. Even How Great, that's not just any choir on there. That ain't AI. That's the Savannah State Wesleyan Gospel Choir on the, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, the whole project was just really essentially
breaking the whole community in
so
on the
many
project.
Different, so many different facets. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a record on there where if you're from Savannah, you gonna know. But it's like you got Torpo and then you got Big Dog Fee on the same record. You got Flip Phone 5 and Tap Money on the same record. You got Clay Hodges, Ethan Jeremiah on the same record. You got, so it's just kind of like
big stuff.
Yeah, it's just kind of like if you're not from Savannah or you don't know those names, it ain't gonna resonate. But if you know those names, then you like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying?
It's big stuff.
Right. So it's kind of like, and that's another reason why I'm like, mentally I've started working on part 2, but I haven't like started like bringing it to the forefront because it's kind of like I want to take my time with it. And also, like I said, in a lot of ways, part 1 is still getting its just due. Yeah, it's still getting its love. It's still getting its just due. And I didn't want to, I don't care about the quantity as much as I care about the quality.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, like, yeah, shout out to 9.
So, you got some news? Is something new happening with you pretty soon?
I can't talk about that right now, depending on when it's out. But I can say, depending on when it's
should we be watching?
Yes, and I'm gonna say, which camera y'all want me to look at when I say this? This one right here, MLK Weekend, 2025. Just be in Savannah, and that's all I can say right now.
MLK Weekend 2025.
Mm-hmm.
You heard it from CJ, my DJ. Be in Savannah, man.
Be here.
Pay attention. Listen. The man is, just pay attention.
Just be here. Just be here.
Just be in the city.
Just be here.
Be in the city.
Be in the city.
Okay.
Be in the city. MLK Weekend. January 18th, 19th, 20th. Be in the city.
Please let it be known. Please let it be known that the jewel was dropped-ish. Clever Conversations podcast.
Clever Conversations. Let it be known.
The jewel was dropped-ish on Clever Conversations podcast.
I ain't saying nothing else. I don't know what y'all talking about.
What are you talking about?
I don't know.
I don't even know.
I've been drinking.
Man, listen.
Cheers.
Cheers, brother. So, I want to know from you, this is kind of something that I do with my guests. What is the best song ever written in your perspective? Jazz, blues, hip-hop, country, rock, gospel, it don't matter. If you could tell me one song that you feel like is the greatest song ever written, let me know. I'll tell you mine while you thinking.
Okay.
Mine is As by Stevie Wonder. As the robin and the moon. To me, that song is just, it's like the circle of life and the vibe, the groove, and it starts off like, then it ends. I love it. I think that's one of the greatest songs ever written.
Oh, that's so hard because there's so many different categories that make a great song. If I'm gonna shoot off the head, I'm gonna say, because you got a good one. I kind of want to say yours, but I want to be different. I'm gonna say Mint Condition, Pretty Brown Eyes. I mean, like the musicality.
Dude, when you hear the intro, you already know what it is.
They knew to put a pause in it. Dun dun. Dun dun. Yeah. They gotta make you wait for it. You know, yeah.
Listen, and the sad thing, my Mint Condition news is, the craziest thing to me is that they were our generation's Earth, Wind, and Fire live band, but they didn't win awards. How is that possible?
Man.
How is that possible?
Mint Condition, hands down, is my favorite band of all time.
Mint Condition is absolutely the truth.
Mint Condition is absolutely. Prince co-signed Mint Condition.
All right, so there we go. Next question. Prince or MJ?
I'm going with Michael Jackson.
Why?
I mean, Michael Jackson is the king, man. Like, I put it like this. If we talking music, just a musician.
Just in general. You can pick.
No.
If you can pick Michael, you can't pick just that.
I'm going to stand on Michael. I'm going to stand every time. When you ask a question like that, it's a loaded question because it's loaded because you can't name one without sound like you taking away from the other. And that ain't what I'm trying to do here. That ain't what I'm trying. Yeah, no disrespect. But I mean, it's kind of like Prince, if we talking musician, like, you know, Prince could play. Prince was a musician, you know what I'm saying? But, man, I mean, Michael, outside of being a great performer, outside of really, like, just shaping the way some of our biggest performers now approach the game, it's like Mike might have not been able to play an instrument, but Mike could still curate whole songs. Mike could hear something in his head and be like, dum, 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 dum. Hey, Let me get somebody who know how to lay that down. You know what I'm saying? Like, Mike, bro, I mean, like, Mike, the way he create, and then also just over decades, like, I like that every project sound different, but it ain't one Michael album, not one Michael album where you didn't get a handful of bops, a handful of singles out of it. I'm talking about even all the way down to what was one of the last ones he dropped, Invincible. Like, even Invincible, man, he gave you Butterflies, You Rock My World, like, Mike just iconic, man. Like, it's just kind of things like with Prince, you got the symbol, maybe the purple outfit. But with Mike, if you see the socks and the loafers, you know what it is. If you see the glove, you know what it is. If you see the Jerry curl with the shiny jacket, you know it's Black Mike.
Jerry curls in the jacket.
Listen, if you it don't matter, Black Mike, White Mike. If you see the Jerry curls in the shiny jacket, you know it's Black Mike. If you see the Captain Crunch jacket with all the medals, you know it's White Mike. Like, Mike iconic, no matter what decade.
I love it. I love it.
No matter what decade, so I'm going to go with Mike.
Any man that could name his child Blanket.
Bro, and hold him off the edge of a building for the people to see.
To take pictures.
Yeah.
Y'all want pictures?
Yeah.
All right, so Jay or Nas, and why?
Jay. And I know that's kind of another loaded one because I don't want to take away from Nas. I feel like a lot of times, like, because Jay is maybe more the, like, more popular or household name versus Nas. I put it like this. A lot of people know Jay, but only people who really understand the culture understand the impact of Nas. So I don't want to take away from Nas. However, the reason why I say Jay is because I feel like when we talk about basketball, right, and we talk about the greatest players of all times, we break down their stats overall, how many rings they won, they impact on the team, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Right.
If you lay out rappers, and we not talking about just bars, if we talking about career, impact, all of that good stuff, there are very few rappers that have, like, had done everything on every box like Jay. Like, Jay not just a good rapper. Like, Jay gonna give you good verses, yes. Jay gonna give you good albums, yes. But, like, also, like, Jay one of the few rappers to ever strike the Billionaires Club. Jay is a rapper who, like, put a lot of folks on. The man married Beyonce. The man, like, in his music.
She asked me.
She asked you first.
Yeah, but I was busy though.
Yeah, see, and then you let that man get her.
You know.
I mean, that's Beyonce.
But listen, I let a beehive go to get a swan. I love you, baby. So,
hey, shout out. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Swan.
Shout out. You know what I'm saying?
All right.
So, yeah, I got to go Jay.
So, Kendrick or Drake?
Why you ask me that?
Because I have to. It's
you asked me that because I'm light-skinned, ain't it?
Yes.
You think I was going to say Drake, ain't it? That's what you thought.
Wait,
That's disrespect.
not?
No, I'm definitely going with Kendrick.
Why though?
Why, like, it's all right, man, because we could talk about this for a whole nother hour. At the end of the day, the whole Kendrick and Drake beef for me boils down to people who are really for the culture versus people who profit off the culture.
Okay, elaborate.
You said elaborate?
Yes, please.
Okay, so you look at an artist like Drake. Drake came out. Drake was on the whole Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. Drake got numerous songs about Houston. How many artists out of Houston has Drake put on? Whenever Drake need a cosign or he need to get, like, his street cred or his clout up, he always messing with the Atlanta rappers, as Kendrick say. Drake is not a rapper. Drake is a pop star who profits off hip-hop. And that was cool for the time being, but it's like you can't profit off of a culture, not just a genre, and then not get back to it. Also, you can't profit off a culture and then want to come in and change the rules. And what I've always I've liked Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'll be transparent. I ain't really care to pimp a butterfly like that, so I'm not gonna act like I just always been like a super Kendrick fan. I was with Kendrick on Good Kid, Mad City. The Pimp a Butterfly was a little boring to me. I definitely like Mr. Morale, but nevertheless, in this situation, what I like is I like that Kendrick, like, it ain't just about representing the culture, it's about holding people accountable. Like I said, Drake has profited as well. Kendrick is like, man, we're going to keep it authentic. If you're going to profit off our culture, we're going to hold you accountable.
But when you say Drake didn't put anybody on.
I said he didn't put anybody on out of Houston.
Right. Did Kendrick put anybody on?
Yeah, if you look at TDE, yeah.
I don't know. That's what I'm asking. I have no idea. I heard a couple of tracks off Big Kid, Mad City.
Good Kid, Mad City.
Good Kid, man. So it was a couple of tracks off that I like. And then there was the one he did with the Morph with Will Smith.
Yeah,
and all
the
of
Heart.
those. Yeah, he did
Heart
that.
Part
It was,
5.
and then there was another one where him and the girlfriend was like arguing with
Yeah.
each other. Those were the two tracks that I heard off the last album. But other than that, I've
I
never
put it
been
like
a
this:
really
even if
Kendrick
you,
fan.
even without talking about, even without calling names, if we talk about, if you just watch everything that Kendrick has done just this year alone, the concert that he did Juneteenth, that was him putting his whole, not just his whole city, but his whole state on. Like that man thoroughly represented every aspect of laws. I'm not even talking about him connecting the gangs. I'm talking about just the representation, bro. And even if you watch like the latest video that he just dropped for the song Squabble Up, everything in that video is not just an homage to like people from like E40's area and the Bay and all of that, but even like things that are relevant to LA and California culture now, you know what I'm saying? Which is a lot more than what you could say you've ever gotten from Drake.
Let me tell you what my take on the Kendrick Drake is.
Okay.
People said Kendrick won. I say, okay. I think one of the differences is Kendrick had the whole West Coast behind him, where Drake is from Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he can have the whole Canada behind him.
Why not?
Because that is not the same as having Canada represent you in the United States in a beef battle is not the same as, hypothetically, if he was from Philly and having the whole Philly behind him. Now, you got the whole West Coast, we got the whole East Coast type thing. He's from someplace else, right? So he didn't have the whole Canada behind him where Kendrick had the whole West Coast behind him. So now you got all the gangs, you got the people, you got the West Coast rappers, and you didn't have the same energy coming from Canada helping Drake.
But it goes back to my point of how many people has he really put on versus how many people he's profited on. Why couldn't Atlanta have Drake's back? Drake been in Atlanta more than Kendrick, I'm sure. Why couldn't Houston have Drake's back? Drake been in Houston. Drake is a resident in Houston. He got a whole Houston, Texas identification with his name.
Mean. They was being mean.
It's just a profit. And the other reason why I side with Kendrick in this whole thing is because it's kind of like every rapper or every real rapper, every real MC, it's all about like, I'm nice, I'm the nicest, right?
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? It's the battle aspect of it too. And what I like about Kendrick in the situation is Kendrick, this all started, I don't know if you know this, but this all started like way back in like 2008. Kendrick did a verse on a song called Control. It wasn't even his song, it was Big Sean.
Oh,
he did a verse.
He worked on everybody on that.
He
worked on everybody on Control.
And everybody just took it for what it was, a rapper being robust. Drake took it personal.
Yeah.
Drake took it personal. So it ain't even like this beef is like some new stuff. And what I like about it, even fast forward, is like Kendrick still is on that same sentiment. Like, yeah,
what's up?
I'm the best. What's up? Who want to see me? And in turn, Drake, who once again ain't really for the culture, just has profited off the culture. Like the man,
but you gotta say he gave the culture some great music. Now we've bopped off Drake for years.
Okay,
now.
we bopped off Drake, but once again, Drake's not a rapper. Drake's a pop star. And more so to my point, it's kind of like this. You brought up Toronto not having his back, right?
Right.
Okay.
And I don't know this to be fact. I'm just guessing from my perspective, from Ricky's perspective.
Okay, from your perspective. Okay,
right.
let's just
and
say,
I don't know that to be fact.
Let's just say your perspective is the general perspective.
Okay, let's go with it.
All right. Even with your perspective being the general perspective, at the end of the day, Kendrick is like, I'm the best. I'm a rapper. What's up? Drake is like, lawsuit. You turned into a Karen. You turned into hip hop's first Karen.
All right. So what's your take on the position that J. Cole took? I feel it's grown up.
I'm gonna be real with you. I'm a little at first. I have had my stance on J. Cole has changed. At first, I was disappointed. Then when I saw how nasty it got, I understood. But in retrospect, as of now, I'm still kind of disappointed.
Well, I had to disagree with you on that because my take of it is J. Cole was like, I don't have to do that. I don't have to do that. My numbers are good. My money is good. My bank account is straight. I don't have to show. I don't have anything to prove to you. So I'm going to bow out gracefully. I don't have to do that. I can, however, go bar to bar for bar, if that's what we want to do.
Then why not?
But I don't have, because I don't have to.
Okay, so once again, if the whole point is I'm the best rapper in the game, or I'm one of the best at the very least, why not? You can't, I'll put it like this. You can't
the
drop
numbers are showing. J. Cole numbers are showing that he's one of the best.
Okay, so and
I don't have to battle rap.
So I can ask you, I ain't saying he had to battle rap, but let me ask you this as a rapper as well.
Okay.
Is numbers a fair metric to gauge how cold the MC is?
Not necessarily, no.
Exactly.
I disagree.
Okay.
I'm ready.
Right, okay.
I stay ready.
And it ain't even about battle rapping, but it's also kind of just how he did it. He dropped the diss, then he retracted the diss.
And then he grown manly apologized. You know what? My bad. This brother did some great stuff. I'm not the person.
Hey, man.
This is what I felt like he did. I felt like he said, I'm in high school. What I was doing was middle school-ish. And I don't want to be middle school. I bow out gracefully. You good. Whatever you want to say, I take it.
Well, then don't say you Muhammad Ali with a pen. Because Muhammad Ali wasn't strayed from a challenge.
But
Muhammad Ali wasn't strayed from a fight.
Okay, so here we go. I know this guy who is a battle rapper.
Mm-hmm.
And so he asked me to get into a battle rap with him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a battle rapper.
Okay.
I rap, but I'm not a battle rapper. So me getting into a battle rap with a battle rapper,
you set yourself up.
Don't make sense.
Okay.
Right now, Sharice Shields is trying to box Remy Ma in a boxing match. Remy Ma is not a boxer. If Remy Ma get into a battle with Clarice Shields, that's Remy Ma setting herself up. That's not what you do. I'm not a battle rapper, so I won't entertain that. I personally won't entertain a battle rap. Now, my bars, I feel like, can stand bars against anybody, but I'm not a battle rapper, so I'm not going to entertain that. So J. Cole saying, I ain't really a battle rapper. But
it's not the same because you know you're not a battle rapper, so you're not going to entertain it. He entertained it, and then he retracted it. He entertained it. He dropped it, let it marinate, let people develop their commentary, and then was like, let me pull it down. I'm sorry.
Okay.
My bad.
Okay.
And it, to me, cool, yes,
sucker
in a
move,
way. I'm not saying it's a sucker move. I'm saying like, okay, cool. You didn't want in on it. Cool. Just stand on that. Don't be like, don't let the smoke clear, let these boys go back and forth and they be like, I'm still Muhammad Ali with a pen. Like, no, you're not, because you had a chance
to show people. Muhammad.
But you didn't. Muhammad Ali not straying from no fight. And that's my only stance with the J. Cole thing, bro. I love J. Cole. I think he's a dope, you know what I'm saying, artist as well. However, in that situation, I just felt like he was like, yeah, them boys about to be hitting a little bit harder than what I like. Let me get out of, you know what I'm saying? And that's fine. That's fine. But don't be like, yeah, I'm Muhammad Ali with a pen. No, you're not, bro. You got out the ring.
So is there anything coming up with CJ the DJ that you want people to know? Any events coming up? Anything you're going to be doing at the beginning of the year? And if so, tell the people. And if not, tell the people. But also tell the people how they can reach you if they want to book you for an event.
Which camera you want me to look in? This one right here?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to lean forward.
Lean forward.
And I'm going to look eye contact.
Make it eye contact.
MLK weekend, January 2025.
January 2025.
At CJ, that's my DJ, all handles.
CJ, that's my DJ, all handles.
So
that's what we...
I'm done for the rest of the year. I'm going to recharge my batteries specifically for... MLK weekend, January 2025.
MLK weekend,
in Savannah.
2025.
At CJ, that's my DJ on all platforms.
At CJ, that's my DJ on all platforms.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, man. My man. So listen, CJ, we like to end every show by saying 2 fingers, 1 love. So let's tell the people
for sure.
How we gonna end this session, man. 2 fingers, 1 love, peace, love. We about to cheer. Yo.
Big Clever.
Yo, CJ, that's my DJ.
Clever conversations.
We had a clever conversation.